Low self-esteem, the feeling of being a bother, thinking 1,000 times before giving your opinion in front of others. Many of these symptoms affect people with ADHD, and I was one of them. I invested in self-knowledge, tried various strategies, and after a lot of training and practice, I developed a method to overcome all of this. And you can also learn about this method in the first link in the description.
This attitude that you parents are taking could be harming the development of your child with ADHD. And this attitude is when parents allow the bond with their child who has ADHD to break due to the stress of school tasks. But before that, let me introduce myself. I am Yuri Maya from ADHD Uncomplicated. I have a postgraduate degree in neuropsychology and learning disorders, and here you will learn everything about ADHD in a straightforward way. Made by someone who has ADHD, who feels it firsthand. And what about you? ADHD adult. There's also what your child with ADHD is feeling today too. And before we start, just one more thing. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel, because I know that if you put it off, you'll forget, and I know you. Okay, leaving a like really strengthens the channel and helps YouTube understand that you want to receive more of this content. So let's go. When I was little, I had a lot of trouble with schoolwork. Okay, every day was a struggle to do my homework, the so-called homework, right? It would take me hours to write one line. Sometimes I would spend the whole afternoon. I would start studying at 1:30, 2 in the afternoon, and by 6 o'clock it was already getting dark. I hadn't even done the header properly. I would just mess around all day, drawing in my notebook, but I couldn't get anything done. And my mom was always fighting with me constantly. Every day there was a lot of fighting, a lot of stress at home, especially because she would come home late from work, tired, and she had to check what I had done. And since I hadn't done anything, there was fighting. Sometimes she would put me on punishment. She would also give me spankings. Anyway, that's something a lot of moms do. And that was really stressful for both her and me, because she was also very pressured by the school. There was a day when she came home very tired from work. She went there to check what I had done, and since I hadn't done anything, and she had already punished me that week, right? For the umpteenth time, she just grabbed my backpack and threw it out the window with all my stuff in it. So, we lived in a first-floor apartment in the building, and the backpack broke the window and was thrown down below. You know, it didn't hurt anyone or anything, but it was an event that really marked me, because today I understand the kind of pressure that both she and I were under because of that. In fact, there is a study by Dr. Russell Barkley in the United States that says that in the early school years, homework doesn't usually make much difference in learning, but that tends to change. It becomes much more necessary starting from high school. Russell Barkley in the United States says that in the early school years, homework doesn't usually make much difference in learning, but that tends to change. It tends to become much more necessary starting from high school. I don't really agree with that study. We know that education in Brazil has a curriculum. Maya has more subjects to study. In fact, I agree with the theory of Professor Pierre Louis de Piazzi, who passed away not long ago. But he taught a lot about study techniques, and he said that doing schoolwork, any type of learning, after the teacher's instruction is essential for retaining the content. Especially for people who have ADHD, homework is important, but Dr. Barkley studied children with different homework habits and found little difference. Barkley, regarding learning. From children who don't do homework regularly, compared to those who do it more consistently, in schools that assign more homework, he noticed that there wasn't much difference. School performance, at least there, in the reality of the United States. But the fact is this, at least here in Brazil, we know that schools have been giving more and more homework. Every decade, we see that the content increases. The hours that teachers have to teach per year to the students, and that reflects in school activities at home too. And another important fact is that parents are lacking as tutors. Parents aren't teachers. They don't have enough training in that. And they are also lacking as supervisors of schoolwork. Parents work, right? Even though we're in 2021, a year still in the pandemic, many parents are at home. They can help the kids a little more. But we know there's a lot of homework to do. And it's not that simple. But the main point of this conversation is you who are a father or mother. It creates obstacles in the relationship with your child because of the pressures from school tasks that he hasn't completed. Be practical regarding this topic. An important point here is for you to observe. You, as a father or mother, be careful with content-heavy schools. Your child won't get into the best universities in Brazil just because they're in a school that dumps content on them. But yes, when he is in a school where he feels good, welcomed, happy, and with friends. Yes, that will make him learn, and as a result, it will help him get better grades even in the entrance exam. The second point I want to bring up today is that a good relationship with your child doesn't sustain itself on its own. It's not something that will just happen naturally because you are one. Father, child, or mother, child, that's not how it works. You need to, as a father, as a mother, you are actively creating and nurturing that bond of trust, fostering love, and nurturing respect. Don't let these pressures, from daily tasks, the school tasks, they cut into the relationship you have with your child, so keep nurturing that relationship continuously. If he isn't a good tutor, he wasn't a good teacher. Try private lessons with him. See if the school offers any kind of resource in that regard. Okay? But avoid wearing down that relationship with him excessively because of these school tasks. And remember, he has ADHD and he will have school difficulties in 80% of cases. This is statistical. It doesn't help to want it to be different because it won't be. But mental health, the good relationship between you should prevail. I teach you how to do this, step by step within the My ADHD program. There, you will have my support from a team of professionals who will be closely monitoring you weekly to guide you on the best practices, so that you can guide your child at home, whether they are a child or a teenager up to 17 years old. Comment down below this video about how your relationship with your child has been. Did you relate to what I said? Are you maybe going a bit overboard, and do you recognize that? Anyway, I want to know what your story is, your reality with your child, ADHD. Comment down below because I would love to read and get to know you a little better. Don't forget to leave your like, share this video, and follow the channel because that way YouTube understands that you want to receive more of this content, plus it really helps the channel a lot. And thank you very much. And until the next video.
So ADHD, just like you, I also had a lot of trouble maintaining relationships. To make matters worse, I didn't know why they always went wrong. I changed the game, and today I'm married and have a great relationship. I took all this knowledge and put it into the ADHD in Action Club for a very affordable price. Check it out in the first link in the description.